We're up on the roof. Gate 57 in the 6th line. It is called utilization. The 6th line. When you get to the roof of the house, think what that's like. Now you have a knowing in the moment and you're dependent on others to get the knowing out. You have this knowing in the moment and you have to concentrate on when and who and what is the right timing and all of those things. You have an individual gate, and individual gates are all melancholic by nature. You know, whenever you find an individual gate, wherever it is in the design, you find melancholy within it, within yourself. There are a lot of individual gates, and melancholy is a chemistry. You know, it is the chemistry of happiness and sadness. It's a chemistry that needs no reason or justification. Melancholy can be very creative. It is the creative aspect of being an individual. It is the creative environment of individuality. Without sadness being accepted by the individual process, there's no creativity. There is only deterioration. Happiness is a matter of chemistry. And for the individual, happiness is the time to be on the stage. It's the time to be out in the world. It's the time to be a stranger of consequence. So the nature of the 57th gate, like all individual gates, is that it goes through its melancholy with its knowing. It knows and it doesn't get to manifest. It knows that it does get to manifest. It'll be happy and sad with either because it's a chemistry. The 57 that does not have consistent access to the 20 is always going to feel slightly melancholic about its knowing. And it will be the environment that drives it deeper and deeper into its creative process. The 57-6, the 6th line, it's going to be involved in its 3rd line process in its early years. The 3rd line process here, remember, is exalted. You know, the line is called acuteness and there is no detriment. The 57-6 really does know things. Now, it doesn't mean that those things have been manifested consistently in its process, but it really does know in the now. And it gives up on sharing or empowering others with that knowing. And if there's no 28 or 38, then it gives up sooner rather than later. I know. They don't know, and I can't mutate them. And then it goes off and sits on the roof and examines knowing. The exaltation, the acceptance that clarity is a double-edged sword. There are situations where understanding cannot lead to rectification. Here, Uranus, its innovative quality, can generally make the best out of an otherwise difficult but rarely permanent situation. Where there is no answer, only the possibilities of the intuition can make the best out of a difficult situation. Oh, it's a long one. Intuition does not always give you an answer, not one that is of any value. It does not always help. Your intuition can tell you something, it can lead you somewhere. Anyone who has the 6th line will tell you that. But it won't always give you the answer. Due to that fact alone, it can lead to depression. All 6 lines can have this quality because they're looking for something so much larger. They're looking for perfection. They're not just looking to survive. They want to survive with a quality of life. They want life to be of value. They're looking to survive in their perfected form. They want to fulfill the nature of their archetype. They're looking to be awake. All of that is part of the nature of the 57th gate and also of the 6th line. The answer is in the manifestation, after all. It's not enough to know. The most depressing thing in the world for a knower is that it doesn't get to see the mutation happen. It doesn't get to see that it has a chance to make mutation happen. It gets ostracized. It ostracizes itself, becomes the outsider. In the detriment, When clarity points to a problem one is unable because of circumstances to solve, a tendency to anger and frustration that provokes inevitably futile action. The possibility that when intuition cannot solve a problem, a tendency to frustration and anger. How do I get my knowing out? There's nobody there who knows what I mean. Think about the 57 who doesn't have the 20th gate, doesn't have any kind of practice or consistent way of learning how to explain themselves. You know, and if they can't explain themselves, then they've got nowhere to go. Individuality just then becomes the freak. To explain themselves, they're always going to be conditioned by somebody else bringing that gate. They're reliant on somebody else if they haven't got the 20 themselves. And they may not accept or resonate to that knowing, that person who brings the conditioning in. And that can be very, very frustrating too. All of these gates of possibility are frustrating. You're so close to manifestation. It's like, oh, all I need is that one little thing and I'm there. I can express myself. I can get my knowing manifested. And for the 57, it's even more frustrating because there are 3 little things that could get it to that point. Oh, if only I could get over there, or there, or there. There's a deep potential for frustration here in the 57th. Now, the 6th line recognizes the nature of intuition. It is the completion of the process here in this line. And it knows that it cannot answer everything. Now, it can be relied on to be your intuition, but it cannot be relied on to be God. You know, it doesn't have all the answers. This is deeply annoying to the 6th line. And in those moments when the intuition cannot do that, there is anger about tomorrow. Some people go through life angry about what tomorrow is going to bring, how tomorrow is going to play out. Now, here is someone who is not afraid of tomorrow. Oh no, they're just angry and frustrated that they have to deal with tomorrow. They're looking for the one-night stand. They are looking for the magic. They're looking for something very special. They want their perfection. And intuition cannot always give them that. So these are people who are very likely to stop paying attention to their intuitive system. They easily deny that they have an intuition. They will tell you that it is their mind. You know, I'll tell people with this 6th line, you have very good intuition. And they answer, yeah, but it's my thinking, really. They have no idea where this is coming from because there's this sense of frustration that the intuition cannot guide them to that holy grail that all 6 lines are looking for. What the 6th line is ultimately looking towards is an intuition that will never fail it. And that's why they get so angry and so frustrated, because the intuition will fail you. Your mind will fail you. Your emotions will fail you. Eventually, your body will fail you. We are limited. And so you get to the end of the 57 process. You get to the end of this deeply mutative and knowing process. And where do you go? You don't go to the 34. You don't go to the 10 or even to the 20. You turn your back on all of that and you go for the money. You head over to gate 32. Grounding this line of utilization is the 51-6, and it's called separation. 6 lines are often described as being aloof. They're sitting up on the roof of the hexagram. They are separate. This is part of their process. This is a keynote for all 6 lines. They are keeping an eye on the rest of the hexagram to keep it honest. And they're looking to the rest of the circuit to see what's going on. A little separation is inevitable in order for the 6th line to maintain its innate authority and its innocence to a degree as well. Mars moves into gate 62 at 20:04, bringing us a channel with the North Node in gate 17. This is between the ajna and the throat, And this will be in the experience of the totality for the next 14 days. This is the channel of acceptance, a design of an organizational being. This is a channel that brings a rare mental ability of being able to see the bigger picture without getting bogged down in the details. But it is necessary to take the time to look into all the relevant facts and details to prevent your long-term visions from faltering. The moon is still in gate 19, the gate of wanting, the gate of need, keeping a watchful eye on the resources of the tribe to see what is needed, feeling a pressure to take care of the needs of the tribe, especially around those basic things of food and clothing and shelter. And it moves into gate 13 at 1637, the G center gate, called the listener, fellowship of man. This is where you might find yourself being told all kinds of secrets, or perhaps spilling the beans on something that maybe you should have stayed secret about yourself. If you have this consistently in your design, you may be a very good listener, or you may spend your time with your hands over your ears, praying that nobody's going to tell you anything ever again. And then gate 49 at 2:15 tomorrow morning. This is the bridegroom, the sacrificer, the gate of revolution and principles, opposite to that needy gate 19. They work together to determine the needs of the tribe, to work out ways of providing those needs, perhaps through sacrificing what doesn't serve the tribe anymore, or through holding on to principles that make sure the correct bargains are being made so that everybody has what they need. This is a solar plexus gate. It carries a fear of rejection, and it also carries the fear of the inconsistency of nature, the unreliability of nature. I mean, how do you make a plan to distribute the resources of the tribe if there is suddenly a freak storm that wipes out the harvest? This is the fear for the gate 49. So this is line 6. This is us done now with gate 57 for this particular solar cycle. Moving on, moving through gate 32 next, moving there into staying in the spleen, of course. So a little more, a few more gates of the spleen to wander through. And I will be back tomorrow with an overview for gate 32, and then we'll move into the first line. So I hope you join me for that, and thank you very much for tuning in for this one, and thank you for all your support. And I'm very excited that I'm up to 300 subscribers on YouTube now, which is just amazing. I'm so thrilled. And so thank you to all of you who share my work, and I know that that it gets posted in various Facebook groups and shared on all sorts of things. And thank you for doing that. Thank you for spreading this and getting out the word of human design and what an incredible system it is, and what Ra brought through from his encounter, and then we share it from here. So thank you for that, and I will look forward to seeing you in the tribal gate tomorrow. Support tribe, yeah, bring it on. Love the tribe. I will see you tomorrow. Go gently. Bye bye now.